Good morning, everyone. My name is Jesse Burke, a senior analyst with WAPAC Labs. Today's weekly threat brief contains information gathered from open source and WAPAC Labs collections over the last week. For today on the agenda, we have RDP backdoors, open source and social media reporting, 7 days of trending, which it consists of the latest APT activities, botnet activities, cloud security, blacklists, and year-to-date keylogger activity. The first topic we have this week is Windows RDP backdoors, and they require an attacker to have access to the RDP. This access could be purchased in the underground, obtained through keylogger, brute forcing, or other means. Remote desktop protocol serves as an entry point for an attacker that desires to move laterally throughout an organization via RDP session hijacking. In order to persist and consistently be able to access the compromised RDP account, an attacker must place a backdoor on the system. And attackers use either binary replacement or registry debugger methods to backdoor RDP and other popular Windows services, accessibility services as well, like osk.exe, magnify.exe, narrator.exe, displayswitch.exe, and atbroker.exe, sethc.exe, which stands for sticky keys, and utilman.exe are also two popular accessibility backdoors. Those two tend to be more popular than the previously mentioned ones, and novice level tools tend to abuse those two. So those two are really focused on. But again, the other accessibility tools listed in the table can also be backdoored. And binary replacement is a little bit more difficult because the binary has to be signed, and the attack is therefore more difficult because an attacker would have to either steal a certificate signature to sign it or somehow obtain one without it tracing back to them. So for open source reporting this week, Hezbollah, Fancy Bear, which is APT28, and Stone Panda APT10 are well-known groups, but Millibug and Gaza Hacking Team is not so well-known. Gaza Hacking Team is likely trending because of their participation in currently ongoing Op Israel. And Millibug is a prolific group that's been around since 2014, and they're well known for the development of the Emotet malware. Hezbollah is a Shia Islamist political party and militant group based in Lebanon. The group's success can partially be attributed to the substantial financial backing from Iran, which donated more money to Hezbollah than any other foreign military group. And targeted this week are software, finance, banking, information technology, and internet hosting. And then for this week in malware, GenCrab ransomware is the top malware, and I know that Chris has been working on integrating that into our sinkholes. And GenCrab has recently advertised for sale on the deep web and is likely the reason why it's currently so popular. They were running a lot of ad campaigns and appear to not be advertising anymore, so they must have filled their desired client base. And Emotet is a banking Trojan. It's associated with the Mealybug group. Schlayer is Mac malware. I'm sorry, Mac, as in like the operating system malware, or Apple, posing as fake flash updates. Ovigi Stealer is a credential stealing Trojan from the Russian underground, and Dark IRC is a backdoor on a system in which the attacker interacts with the system over IRC. Looking into open source on this kind of detection, it was unclear exactly what the criteria was for the detection, other than having an IRC backdoor on the system, but it's still kind of interesting because I personally thought that IRC botnets were going to be a thing of the past soon. They've been around forever, and they don't seem to be going anywhere, as suggested by the trending malware detections this week. So in open source and social media, there's a lot going on. There's a LibreOffice remote code execution, specifically CVE 28, 16858. And then also CVE 2019-7304 called Dirty Sock on Snapd, impacting Ubuntu, Debian, OpenSUSE, Arch Linux, Solus, and Fedora. VF mail backups and data being wiped, kind of interesting because they had no paid ransom, and their last ransom attempt was by the Armada Collective in 2015. So the motive and reason behind why they wiped all their servers and backup servers are currently unknown. And last, Monica Witt, a counterintelligence operative with the highest level clearance of the Air Force from 1997 to 2008, and a DoD contractor until 2010, defected to Iran in 2013 after she attended a anti-American conference in Iran called Hollywoodism in 2012. And sorry, I forgot one piece of information there too. She was later, a couple days later, linked to the Game of Thrones hacker. And this is interesting because we observed this hacker posting some of this information for sale in the underground. So in the last 7 days, or a week rather, we've recorded almost 200,000 indicators, which is low compared to last week's million new indicators. But almost half of these indicators come from Threat Recon, which is our high confidence indicators derived from WAPAC Labs proprietary reporting. Every single indicator has a report sourcing that indicator. And these collections include our Threat Recon, keylogger, and malicious emails, and our sinkhole traffic. And the number on the slide indicate the new indicators in the respective collections. And these indicators are available to paid Red Sky Alliance members weekly, as well as our blacklists, which come in CSV, FortiSIM, and Proofpoint formats. So next up, we have the APT and botnet indicators collected last week. We had 377 unique APT indicators in the past 7 days. This is up almost 47% from last Monday. You can use your two-factor authentication to log into CTAC and download the APT indicators discussed today. And please contact us on Slack or via email if you need assistance with this. Here is the APT indicator breakdowns. Topping this week again is Sikipot and Maudi APT. And there's a huge Sikipot increase, but no parsum activity observed this week. The botnet activity over the last 7 days remains pretty consistent with prior trending reporting. 31 Jinrong Street is still the leader, followed closely by AS45609, which is Bharti Airtel Ltd for GPRS services, which beat AS9829, National Internet Backbone for India this week for second place. The open source data closely correlates, the data observed in our collections, but Bharti Airtel is 7th for us and still behind India within our data. And the cloud security snapshot for cloud-borne botnet activities targeting banks and credit unions this week. For high risk, we have India National Backbone, Jinrong Street, Idea Cellular Limited, Bharti Airtel Ltd for GPRS services, China Unicom, and TEAS. A lot of these high-risk ASs are actually mobile ASs, which is an interesting observation. And the cautionary is Pakistan Telecom Company, which is also a mobile AS. And lower risk hosting environments include Turk Telecom, Vietel Group, and Reliance Geo Infocom Limited. And our usual reporting includes major providers such as Google, Amazon, GoDaddy, but this week our reporting does not include any major US ASNs, but rather ASNs from India, China, Egypt, Pakistan, Turkey, and Iran. Our blacklists are published weekly, and on the right-hand side you can see some of our keylogger stats. We observed 76,207 connections from new unique IP addresses to WAPAC Labs sinkhole domains. 3 Red Sky Alliance members received tier line products. Paid Red Sky Alliance members received complete blacklists and API access. For more members that are not set up to ingest intelligence, we have Trusted Internet, which is our managed service security provider, and we use Fortinet and Proofpoint products, and we push Intel into those systems and manage those systems for you. If you have any questions, please let us know. And thank you for joining us today.